Tempting venison tacos. What more can we say? I am excited to hear about this one, and it includes venison, which we've mentioned, perfect for fall, and some apples as well.
Yes, well, what's nice about combining the two is that they're both very autumn forward, and the venison really does get a flavor boost when you add the ambiance that an apple can bring to it. And also, we're pairing it with a little citrus to give it an extra boost that will take it in an even bigger flavor bomb.
So we have a few things going on here. We've got Ebels meat processing makes venison. So for all you hunters out there, when you get a deer, please bring it to Ebels. We make delicious ground venison, as well as we can package your venison however you want it.
I love the little rolls too, because that's going to make it so easy and convenient. So it's always easiest to cook when you have things measured out for your recipes.
All right, so should we get making these tacos?
Yes, and we're starting with a very hot Dutch oven. You can use a cast iron skillet if you got it too. And I'm gonna add, you can add a tablespoon or so. You can see how nice and hot it is. This is what you want, a nice hot skillet. I've flaked the venison that's ground. I got a pound going in, and I'm probably gonna set off their smoke alarm. Let's see. We wanna brown the meat, which is doing beautifully. You purposely don't want to add anything else to the pan right now because you want it to get that sear. Pretty much like the grill does when you throw a steak on it. So now that we've got it nice and grilled hot, we're going to go ahead and toss in the onion. And I'm just going to let it coast a little bit like that, so that the onions do get a little bit of a char themselves. Okay, and I'm sprinkling in the garlic, and I think I've got about 5 cloves of garlic here. They weren't real big, but if you like lots of garlic, add more. Then we're going to start adding our liquid so it can braise. This is a 1/2 cup of chicken broth, and now I've got 1 orange that's juiced, and what I'm going to do is add a little bit of cornstarch to it as a thickener. Add this in, and then we're going to add the juice of a lime, and then we want to add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. My recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of applesauce, but I'm going to just go ahead and use plain old fresh apple since it is autumn. And what happens when you cook an apple is it turns into sauce. So this way I know where the apple came from, and I know how long it's been around, and I also know what's in it, which is nothing but good old Michigan apples. Now once we've got it to this stage, we can lower the flame to a simmer. They will dissolve down eventually into the sauce. The recipe recommends taking 2 tablespoons of chili powder and adding it. I thought we're gonna go ancho, so I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons. So I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of the cumin as well. We're adding a little more garlic with the pepper and the salt. And we're gonna cover it and put it on the lowest flame and let it coast for about 45 minutes. We are going to make an amazing, sweet yet simple autumn apple slaw. And what's nice about this dish is that it can be served as a side, or you can actually sneak it into a taco like we're making today with the venison. It starts off with making the slaw dressing in the bowl, and it begins with the use of lemons. My husband, God bless him, has this contraption, which I thought was the craziest thing I ever saw.
This?
Check this out. It is a little lemon juicer where you actually has a little lid so that when you need your, in this recipe we need a tablespoon of lemon, you just simply squeeze it.
Whoa.
Isn't that neat? And it's got a little screen in there like that, see?
So we don't get the pulp.
You don't get the pulp or the seed. So you just squeeze till you get your tablespoon's worth, which is that. Okay, you can add the 1/3 cup of brown sugar.
Okay.
Pops in next.
We'll put it in there next. Okay.
And then squeeze out a 1/3 cup of mayonnaise too. So you want the same amount of mayonnaise in there.
There we go.
It's
How
like
about
a fish.
that?
I will go ahead and start adding finely sliced green onion. And we have, a couple of them going in. The recipe calls for a 1/2 of a bell pepper, 1 big carrot julienne, and now that you've got that nicely mixed, I'm going to go ahead and I have 1 unpeeled Granny Smith apple that's cored and sliced, and I have 1 unpeeled red apple cored and sliced as well. And I made it into little bite-sized pieces. And now that you've got the apple in there, you have to go two-handed. You give it the old flip over like you're what is it, like turning over pancakes, where you pull from the bottom and flip to the top. We're going to add either 3 cups of shredded cabbage, or you can just cheat and buy the bag. I'll hold the bowl, and the same thing where you want to draw from the bottom and pull it up to the top and flip it over, and that'll taste not only good as a side on your plate, but also inside your venison taco too. It's almost like a confetti slaw. Ideally, it's good to let it refrigerate overnight to build and develop those flavors.
The flavors are always better as it sits.
Next day, but you end up with this beautiful dish, and everyone's gonna love it.
It smells good, Laura.
It's the magic moment.
You said this smells like it's gonna be a flavor bomb.
Yes.
How
I
come?
suspect because of all those wonderful spices that we blended in with it. So I'm anxious to see not only how it tastes as the taco,
Okay.
but if we want to try a little slaw on it too.
Absolutely. And I think this is one of those things that the colors of everything just really pop together.
Yes, the color is just beautiful. So I'm gonna grab one of these puppies too. Give it a shot here.
A side of slaw.
We worked hard for this.
We did.
And there's no time like the present for venison.
This looks beautiful. And there's
And we've
the
got-
apples in there and the peppers.
It's just beautiful.
Green
Look at that.
onion.
Oh, look at that. Yours is so pretty.
Woo!
Mine's just slopped on. I'm just going for the gold here.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
Happy fall.
Happy fall.